Atlanta is in complete shock tonight. Rasheeda and Kirk Frost's son has just been arrested, charged in connection with the cold-blooded murder of rising rapper T. Hood. Fans are asking, how did the son of two reality TV stars end up in handcuffs for one of the most shocking crimes the hip-hop world has ever seen? The world of hip-hop and reality TV has once again been shaken to its very core. Just when fans thought the chaos surrounding Rasheeda and Kirk Frost's marriage had finally calmed down, a storm of an entirely different magnitude erupted, one that no one saw coming. This time, the drama isn't about infidelity, money scandals, or the usual explosive love and hip-hop feuds. No, this time, it's about something far darker, far more devastating. Their son, Kai Frost, has been caught at the center of a crime so shocking that the entire entertainment industry is left speechless. Reports are flooding in that Kai has been arrested in connection with the brutal murder of rising Atlanta rapper T. Hood. At first, the news didn't even seem real. Fans across social media were convinced it had to be some kind of rumor, maybe even a cruel prank aimed at hurting Rasheeda and Kirk's family. But as official police reports and mugshots began to circulate online, the horrifying reality started to sink in. Rasheeda's fans, who have always seen her as this strong, resilient woman, balancing both her music career and her family life on screen, could barely process what they were reading. The woman who had fought so hard to hold her family together is now facing the unimaginable. Her own son is entangled in one of the most shocking murder cases Atlanta has ever seen. For those unfamiliar with the victim, T. Hood wasn't just another local rapper trying to make it big. He was known across Atlanta's underground scene as a hungry, relentless artist who had built a cult following with his raw street lyrics and unfiltered energy. He collaborated with major names from Future to 21 Savage and was seen as one of the next stars destined to put the city on his back. But just as his career was beginning to reach new heights, tragedy struck in the most violent way possible. According to early reports, T. Hood was gunned down outside a recording studio in East Atlanta, a place he considered his second home. Witnesses describe hearing multiple shots before chaos broke out, with cars speeding away and bystanders screaming for help. Within hours of the incident, detectives pieced together enough evidence to link the crime back to Kai Frost. Security, footage, eyewitness statements, and what insiders claim is overwhelming forensic evidence all pointed toward Rasheeda and Kirk's son. And that's when the hammer came down. Law enforcement moved quickly, executing an arrest that has since sent shockwaves through both the hip-hop community and the fan base of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. But the big question remains, how did Kai Frost, the son of two established reality TV stars, end up in the middle of something this dangerous? This isn't just about one bad night or a random altercation gone wrong. Sources close to the investigation suggest that there may have been an ongoing feud between Kai and T. Hood, one rooted in the tangled world of music, street politics, and personal grudges. Some insiders even claim that Kai had been trying to break into the rap scene himself but struggled to gain traction. Could jealousy or rivalry have played a role? Social media has exploded with theories. Some argue that Kai was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, caught up in a scene he couldn't control. Others believe the evidence is clear and that the Frost family can no longer hide from the dark truth. Twitter threads, Instagram lives, and TikTok breakdowns are dissecting every piece of information, with fans pulling up old photos of Kai flashing money, hanging out with Atlanta rappers, and posting cryptic messages that now seem far more sinister. Meanwhile, Rasheeda and Kirk have remained eerily silent. For a couple that has always lived their lives in the spotlight, their sudden refusal to comment has only fueled more speculation. Some fans sympathize, saying no parent should ever have to face the humiliation of seeing their child in handcuffs for something this serious. Others, however, are less forgiving, accusing Kirk and Rasheeda of failing to guide their son and instead prioritizing fame, money, and reality TV drama. It's a brutal contrast. On one hand, you have Rasheeda, the boss chick, the rapper turned entrepreneur who preaches independence and resilience. On the other, you have her son, now branded as a suspect in a murder case. The duality of their public image versus their private. Reality has left fans stunned. Atlanta police have yet to release the full details of their case against Kai. But insiders say prosecutors are confident. Word is, they have both video and digital evidence, possibly even text messages or phone records linking Kai to the crime. If true, this case could escalate quickly, with the possibility of life-altering consequences for the Frost family. And then there's the victim side of the story. T. Hood's family and supporters are devastated, demanding justice and calling out the culture of violence that continues to plague Atlanta's rap scene. To them, T. Hood wasn't just another statistic. He was a son, a friend, and a father figure to many in his community. His loss has created a void that no amount of fame or money can ever fill. This entire situation has also reignited conversations about the intersection of hip-hop, crime, and fame. Why is it that so many young men tied to the music industry find themselves pulled into violence? And how does someone like Kai Frost, who grew up with access to money, influence, and opportunity, end up allegedly throwing it all away in one reckless act? Fans are anxiously waiting for Rasheeda's first public statement. Will she stand by her son and defend him at all costs? Or will she distance herself from the case in order to protect her brand? Either way, the damage has already been done. The Frost name is now tied to something far darker than any love triangle or reality show fight. This is a scandal with real-life consequences, lives lost, futures destroyed, and families torn apart. And if that wasn't enough, whispers are already circulating that VH1 producers are scrambling to figure out how to handle the situation. With Love and Hip Hop Atlanta still being one of the franchise's most watched series, this storyline could either be completely buried or ruthlessly exploited. After all, reality TV thrives on drama. But even this might be too dark to touch. What happens next could determine not only Kai's future, but also Rasheeda and Kirk's legacy. Will this family collapse under the weight of scandal, or will they somehow find a way to fight back? One thing is for certain, this is only the beginning of a story. It's bound to shake the industry for months to come. The arrest of Kai Frost has thrown Atlanta into a frenzy, and as the dust begins to settle, shocking new details about the investigation are starting to emerge. According to law enforcement sources, this was not some random act of violence. It was a carefully orchestrated confrontation that spiraled completely out of control. Prosecutors are painting a picture that goes beyond a simple misunderstanding, suggesting that tensions between Kai and T. Hood had been boiling for weeks, not months, leading up to that fateful night. Detectives allege that in the days before the shooting, there were heated exchanges between Kai and T. Hood over social media, private messages, and even in person. While police have not yet released the exact content of those conversations, insiders claim that Kai may have accused T. Hood of disrespecting him in the studio, while others whisper it was about money, possibly an unpaid debt or a failed music collaboration. Whatever the truth is, investigators believe that the bad blood became the spark that ultimately ignited this tragic chain of events. When police arrested Kai, they reportedly discovered more than just circumstantial evidence. Sources close to the case say that ballistics testing is being used to link a firearm tied to Kai with the bullets recovered from the crime scene. Even more damning, detectives claim to have cell phone tower records and surveillance footage placing him near the studio at the exact time of the murder. With this mountain of evidence, prosecutors are gearing up for what could become one of the most high-profile trials Atlanta has ever seen. But while law enforcement builds its case, the human side of this tragedy is unraveling in real time. Rasheeda has been spotted leaving her Atlanta boutique looking visibly shaken, trying to shield herself from paparazzi cameras as reporters shouted questions about her son. Kirk, on the other hand, was seen outside a courthouse, refusing to answer any media inquiries. The couple, who have built their fame on the ups and downs of their relationship, now face a nightmare no parent could ever imagine. Standing by their child as he faces the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars, behind closed doors. Those close to the Frost family say the household has been plunged into chaos. Rasheeda is allegedly struggling to balance her role as a mother and her public image as a strong, independent businesswoman. She knows the world is watching her every move, waiting for a statement, a reaction, anything that might give insight into how she's handling the crisis. Insiders claim she has broken down in tears multiple times, terrified not just for her son's future, but also for the long-lasting stain this could leave on her reputation and brand. Meanwhile, Kirk has reportedly taken on the role of strategist. He's the one making phone calls, reaching out to lawyers, and attempting to control the narrative. Some say he's determined to protect Kai at all costs, while others whisper he's more focused on protecting his own name. Whatever the case may be, the pressure is mounting, and it's only a matter of time before the Frosts will be forced to speak out publicly. The court of public opinion, however, has already spoken. On Instagram and Twitter, the backlash has been vicious. Thousands of comments flood Rasheeda's posts daily, with fans expressing disappointment, anger, and heartbreak. Some are calling for compassion, reminding others that Rasheeda herself is not responsible for her son's actions. But many more are accusing the Frost family of raising Kai in privilege and fame while failing to instill discipline and responsibility. The contrast is brutal. The glamorous image of Rasheeda and Kirk on Love and Hip Hop versus the mugshot of their son splashed across news outlets. But perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this story is the grief of T. Hood's family. His mother, speaking in an emotional interview, broke down as she described her son's dreams of making it big in the music industry. She painted the picture of a man who wasn't just a rapper, but also a mentor to kids in his neighborhood. Someone who wanted to use his success to lift others out of poverty. Her tearful plea was simple: "We want justice for T. He didn't deserve this." Vigils have already begun popping up across Atlanta. Fans and friends of T. Hood gather, candles in hand, blasting his music in the streets as they demand accountability. Murals of the slain rapper are being painted across the city, transforming his legacy into something larger than life. The community's anger is directed not just at Kai, but at the larger cycle of violence that continues to claim young black men in the music industry. And then, as if the situation wasn't already complicated enough, a stunning twist emerged. Rumors began circulating that T. Hood and Kai may have once been close friends. Old photos and videos surfaced online showing the two together at parties, hanging out at studios, and even joking around on Instagram Live. Fans are shocked. How did friendship turn to fatal conflict? Was this really about music and pride? Or was something deeper brewing beneath the surface? Legal experts are now weighing in on the case, and the outlook is grim. Convicted, Kai could be facing decades in prison, if not life without parole. Prosecutors are said to be considering whether to pursue enhanced charges, arguing that this was a premeditated crime rather than a heat-of-a-moment altercation. Defense attorneys, meanwhile, are expected to argue that the evidence is circumstantial, and that Kai is being unfairly targeted because of his parents' fame. The courtroom battle ahead is shaping up to be nothing short of explosive. VH1 executives, caught in the middle of this unfolding storm, are reportedly holding emergency meetings. With Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta already known for its raw portrayal of drama and scandal, the network faces an impossible choice: address the situation head-on in future episodes, or keep the cameras far away to avoid accusations of exploitation. But if history is any indicator, producers know that scandal drives ratings, and this scandal might just become the most watched storyline the franchise has ever seen, as the community waits for the next court date. One thing is certain: the Frost family is forever changed. No amount of reality TV drama, No music career, no flashy boutique can overshadow the dark cloud now hanging over them. Rasheeda, once celebrated for her resilience and strength, is now forced to confront her biggest test yet. Can she survive? The public scrutiny, the humiliation, and the heartache of watching her child face a possible life sentence. Or will this tragedy break her completely? The hip-hop world, too, must grapple with the loss of T. Hood. His death is more than just another headline. It's a devastating reminder of the dangers young artists face in an environment where pride, respect, and survival often collide with fatal consequences. His fans will keep playing his music, his friends will keep telling his story, and his family will keep demanding justice. But for now, all eyes are on Kai Frost. His next court appearance could determine whether this story becomes a tale of redemption or one of permanent downfall. The stakes have never been higher, and the drama is only intensifying. The world is waiting, and the truth, whatever it may be, is about to come out as the days turned into weeks. The weight of Kai Frost's arrest grew heavier, not just on his family but across the entire hip-hop community. Each new revelation from investigators sent shockwaves through social media. Each headline plastered across the news left fans gasping. But nothing compared to the moment when Kai was brought into court for the first time, wearing an orange jumpsuit, shackled and looking nothing like the privileged reality TV Sun fans once knew. The courtroom was packed. On one side sat Rasheeda and Kirk, their faces drawn and tense, surrounded by cameras flashing and journalists scribbling notes. On the other side sat T. Hood's grieving family, holding framed photos of the slain rapper. The tension was unbearable, the energy electric. Everyone was there for the same reason: to see if the young man accused of pulling the trigger would finally speak. The prosecution wasted no time. They presented what they called irrefutable evidence, a chilling timeline, reconstructed through surveillance cameras, text messages, and witness testimony. A video clip played before the judge allegedly showed Kai's car pulling into the recording studio parking lot just minutes before the shooting. Another clip, blurred but still identifiable, appeared to show someone matching Kai's build fleeing, the scene as gunshots echoed in the background. The sound of T. Hood's final moments filled the courtroom, causing gasps, tears, and even shouts of anger. Then came the damning texts. Prosecutors read aloud messages they claim were sent from Kai's phone in the days leading up to the murder. "He's gonna stop playing with me. It's gonna learn one message, read another. If he thinks I'm soft, I'll show him differently." The words were haunting, painting a picture of a young man consumed by pride, anger, and a need to prove himself in a world where respect is everything. Rasheeda wept silently as the evidence mounted. Kirk sat stone-faced, gripping his wife's hand tightly, though his jaw clenched every time another piece of evidence was revealed. The prosecution was building a narrative of intent, of premeditation, of a man who didn't just snap, but who carefully prepared to make a statement through violence. But then came the defense. Kai's attorneys fought back fiercely, arguing that the prosecution's case was built on assumptions and circumstantial evidence. They claimed the surveillance footage was grainy, unclear, and not definitive proof of Kai's presence. They questioned the chain of custody of the firearm linked to the crime. And most importantly, they argued that the text messages were being taken out of context, that Kai had been venting about unrelated personal issues, not plotting murder. They painted Kai as a young man unfairly targeted because of who his parents are. If his last name wasn't Frost, the defense attorney said, pacing the courtroom, would we even be here today? Would this young man be treated as a criminal before he's even had his day in court? Or is this simply the price of famed burden of being a reality star's child in a world hungry for scandal? It was a powerful argument, one that made Rasheeda break down completely, burying her face in her hands. For a brief moment, the courtroom saw not a celebrity family, not reality TV stars, but parents broken, humiliated, and desperate to protect their son. Meanwhile, outside the courthouse, chaos reigned. protesters gathered, some demanding justice for T. Hood, others calling for compassion for Kai. Signs read "Justice for T. Hood" alongside others that said "Free Kai." The city was divided, torn between mourning a lost talent and sympathizing with a family caught in the crossfire of fame, violence, and tragedy. Media outlets feasted on every second of it. TMZ ran daily updates. Shade Room flooded Instagram with clips. Hip-hop blogs dissected the case as though it were a new album drop. And VH1 producers. Rumor has it they were already in talks about how to approach the scandal in future seasons of Love and Hip Hop. Would they show Rasheeda's pain? Would Kirk's quiet anger become part of the storyline? Or would this be the moment the Frost family finally walked away from reality TV altogether? As the trial loomed, another shocking revelation surfaced. A key witness, someone who claimed to have been with Kai that night, came forward with a statement that could change everything. According to this witness, Kai wasn't the shooter at all. He was there. Yes, but someone else pulled the trigger. The defense jumped on this new testimony immediately, filing motions to have the case reconsidered. Suddenly, doubt filled the air. Could Kai really have been falsely accused, dragged into this nightmare because of proximity and reputation? The prosecution, of course, dismissed the witness as unreliable, claiming they were only coming forward now to protect Kai because of his family's fame and influence. But the seed of doubt had been planted, and in a high-profile case like this, doubt can mean the difference between freedom and a lifetime behind bars. Rasheeda, in a rare public statement outside the courthouse, finally broke her silence. Fighting back tears, she said, "We are devastated. Our family is hurting, and while we send our deepest prayers to T. Hood's family, we also know our son deserves a fair trial. He is not the monster people are making him out to be." Her words were raw, vulnerable, and a reminder that beyond the headlines and cameras, there is a mother watching her child's future hang in the balance. Kirk, more stern and controlled, followed her. "This is not about TV. This is not about fame. This is about our son. We're asking people to let the system play out before passing judgment. We're standing by Kai, and we will fight for him." Their statements divided the public even further. Supporters praised their strength, while critics accused them of trying to use their celebrity status to sway public opinion. But one thing was clear. The Frosts were no longer just reality TV stars. They were a family in crisis. And the world was watching every second as the story continues to unfold. One question remains unanswered. What really happened the night T. Hood was murdered? Was Kai Frost the cold-blooded killer prosecutors are portraying him to be? Or is he a young man caught up in circumstances beyond his control, condemned by his name and his environment? What happens next could define not just Kai's life, but Rasheeda and Kirk's legacy forever. The world will be watching when the jury makes its decision. And no matter the outcome, the Frost family will never be the same again. This story is far from over, and now we want to hear from you. Do you believe Kai Frost is guilty of the crime prosecutors are painting? Or is he simply being used as a scapegoat because of who his parents are? Is this a tragic case of pride and violence spiraling out of control? Or could there be another side to the story that hasn't been told yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your voice matters in shaping the conversation. Should Rasheeda and Kirk continue to stand by their son no matter what? Or should they distance themselves to protect their legacy and brand? And most importantly, what justice looks like for T. Hood and his grieving family? How do we honor his memory while uncovering the truth? If you want to stay up